Hey guys, just finished watching Flash Season 4, Episode 8, Crisis on Earth X, Part 3, and Legend of Tomorrow, Season 3, Episode 8, Crisis on Earth X, Part 4. So this time I was able to watch it all in one shot on TV and stuff. For some reason, I wasn't able to get yesterday Arrow or Supergirl and Arrow type thing. So it was really cool, different watching it this way. I watched it, on TV with the commercials and all that stuff. And yet last time I had to watch it right after online and stuff. And it was really cool, different watching this. And I actually have bullet points that I went through and I wrote down on my phone because I watched the two in one shot instead of watching one reviewing type thing, like I normally do. So let me just take a look here. I don't miss any points that I want to talk about and stuff. And there's so much stuff that happened in this episode. I mean, you have Red Tornado in here, you have Metallo in here, you have Martin. And spoiler alert if you haven't seen this. Obviously, this is the second part of my review and stuff. There's going to be lots of spoilers and stuff, so go watch it and then come back. But yeah, like I said, Red Tornado, Metallo, Leonard Snart was in this. Martin Stein died. The Flash. All kinds of stuff. So the first stuff I guess I want to talk about would be Martin Stein dying, and that was pretty interesting. I mean, I remember seeing that there was the grave had leaked out online, and that was out there. I remember seeing a video about that, and it was people about talking about whether Felicity would die and all that stuff because it had the Star David on there and stuff. But then it was Martin Stein, and I never thought that it was Martin Stein or anything like that, and I completely had forgot. Because I'd forgotten about it stuff since it didn't really make the rounds too much, that leaked stuff, leaked picture. But this is going to be, it was really cool seeing that, and I didn't expect that to be there. And it was a nice, the death, the way that it was pretty good. Although I found that Jack's Firestorm, the fact that he never cried, like he was crying, but he never shed a tear, that just kind of got into me. It's just like, I don't know, it's different when, the beginning of this crossover, you see Grant Gustin as Barry Allen, and he's teary-eyed just looking at Candace Patton there at Iris West as she's walking down the aisle type of thing. And then you have the death scene, and it's totally different. Now I understand, some actors can't cry, some actors can cry on cue and stuff. But I don't know, it was really good. Other than that, it was a really good scene. It just took me out a little bit there. So that was really cool with the whole death scene. It was really cool, especially when they went over and they showed everyone reacting to his death, Ray reacting to it, and a lot of the legends guys reacting to his death was kind of really impactful. That was really cool. I mean, it really, like, my heart was just dropping in me. It was just like, my heart was sinking as I was just going, and it was just, I don't know, it was just so good. Although I would have liked to have seen maybe his wife, Clarissa should have been there. Maybe his daughter should have been there. Maybe they should have flown because he was dying on the Rave Rider. I don't know why they didn't fly to there and have him say a few last words to her type thing. I understand the whole Jax thing and all that, but why not have a few last words to him type thing? Or, maybe a few words that he wanted her to say to his daughters and stuff. I mean, he never said anything or had anything to say to my grandson or something. Or that would have been cool. Is this something go to the future and tell my grandson this thing. I think that would have been really cool, is to go into the future and, hey, here's a message from your dying grandson type thing. Your grandfather wanted me to give you this on your 18th birthday, and they could go into the future and give that to him type of thing, or to give to his daughter right now to hold for his 18th birthday, a letter or something. I think that would have been really cool. But I guess there's just so much stuff that they can't have things into it. I mean, maybe we could have had him say that but not show it on camera, so that they set it up to do that in a later episode on Legends, so they don't have to do it within this crossover, because they had so much to do in this crossover. I mean, like I said in my earlier reviews, there's so much, I heard so much stuff about them, interviews about Stephen Amell, about how busy he was for filming this, because he was in every single scene. He's in like 99% of the show. Stephen Amell, of this thing, he's in like most of it. So him doing this stuff, he was in a lot of it. I mean, the Dark Arrow and Ultra Girl, Overgirl, they had the mask and stuff, but they rarely used those masks. I don't know why they even had the masks. I thought the idea was like, okay, we'll get here and there, we'll get some shots of them within the costume, but whenever the two characters are together, you're going to keep the mask on the whole time, so we never have to see that. But I guess it was just for the fight scenes, that's the only times that they took off the mask, a lot of the times it was just over the shoulder type thing, so they didn't have to do any, computer work. It was just the stunt double, but just don't show the face type thing, type thing. So it was really little. So it was cool. Really was cool seeing that. That was really cool with the whole doppelganger things, and that was really fun seeing that. Looking at my notes here. So yeah, the Red Tornado. Red Tornado was pretty cool. The first one actually is Oliver shooting Oliver and Felicity from Earth X. So we had our Oliver from Earth 1, from Arrow, from the one we've been following, dressed up as a Nazi, pretending to be the Earth X Oliver, the evil one, and evil version of Paul Blackthorne. Can't think of his name. Captain Lance, or Detective Lance, whatever he is right now. But of Quentin Lance, evil version of Quentin Lance makes him wants them to shoot Earth X version of Felicity, who is just still another innocent, which is interesting that even Felicity on the where everyone bad Earth, Felicity is still good type thing in that type of thing. So that was pretty cool. And then that scene, he was about to shoot her and stuff. I mean, the idea of that was perfect and stuff. It didn't stand out to me. I forgot about it until I read my notes here again. Because it was so early on in the Flash episode that compared to an hour later, so much stuff happens. But I mean, for them to drag out that scene and make him make you not sure if he's going to do it would have taken up too much time. They didn't have time to do all that, to drag out every single scene. They had to focus that time. They could have made that scene like twice as long, but it wouldn't have, I'd rather have the death of Martin Stein be as long as it was. Would have cut into that. It would have cut into all kinds of things. And I think it was the perfect length for what it was, but I think it was a really cool idea, and I loved the moment of it, even though it didn't hit as hard as it could have, in a full-on movie type thing. But a full-on movie wouldn't have been as complicated as this is, which I guess I kind of equate this episode. I guess it's kind of like the Avengers Infinity War is what I'm assuming this is going to be the closest thing we can have to compare to that, because minus the 200 or 500 or $1 billion budget type thing, but it's an Avengers Infinity War on the CW type thing, so with DC characters. So it is pretty much with that, I guess, without Thanos and stuff and the feeling of, but the idea of that. So it really is really epic, this thing. So it is really awesome with that. So that was really cool. The Oliver and Felicity thing there. And then Red Tornado was really cool, seeing a version of Red Tornado. It looked like the same actor. I'm not sure if they got him back or if they just used the same actor's likeness, or if the actor had to come back or not for this, because the Red Tornado was entirely CGI. But this version of him looked pretty cool. I mean, we never saw him not moving because he was always moving. He was just a CGI version of him. So that was really cool seeing that. I would have liked to have seen him stop and just hover there so we can see what he looks like, even if they had zoomed in onto the top part that's not spinning and stuff, so we could see a non-CGI version of him to see what he looks like to compare it to, because I don't feel like we have any stills from this that we can pause and then go look at the stills from the original or season 1 of Supergirl, Red Tornado, and compare to be like, wow, look how far we've come type thing, because everyone hated, not a single person that I know of who's watched Supergirl liked the way they did Red Tornado, the look of him, because he looked so terrible. So this version looks pretty cool. It looked kind of a little bit more comic accurate, but still had that guy's the actor's face and stuff in it. But other than that, he was pretty cool, and the way they took him down with Flash and Ray, kind of Ray, the Earth X version Ray, but actually from Earth 1, that's confusing. So Ray, him and teaming up with their powers and stuff, that was pretty cool seeing that. So that was really cool. That fighting was really fun. The CGI was a little bit wonky on that, like was a little bit obviously CGI. But I mean, I feel like they definitely saved some of their budget for different parts. You could see where they saved and stuff for CGI, and this. In a movie, in Avengers Infinity War, they're spending the entire time that they spent filming. I don't know how long they took to film all 4 episodes of this. I feel like it must have taken at least a month or something. But whatever, if it did, however long it took to film this entire crossover is how long they would have spent in a movie on one scene, just CGI type thing. So even the budget-wise probably was the same thing. So it was, for what it was, I guess it was pretty cool, and it was pretty fun seeing that. So what else is there? I think that's it. Oh, Metallo was really cool. We saw Metallo before and all that stuff. But in this episode, I really noticed that it was the same voice, from what I can recognize, as the Untitled we had in Supergirl from season 1, who ends up blowing up in that, was it end of season 1 or season 2, who ends up blowing up in Lex Luthor's secret stash of his weapons and stuff, where we saw the battle axe, where we saw the Lex Luthor suit and stuff like that, where I think there was Lena Luthor was there, or Lillian Luthor was there with Lena. And then Cyborg Superman was there, and then that's when he went critical and he blew up, and what's his face, Metallo, blew up, and I think it was really cool having the same actor's voice there. He said like 1 or 2 lines or stuff, or maybe he said it early on and I didn't recognize it, but it was cool having the same guy's voice instead of just having a robot voice or whatever type of thing. So that was really fun. There. What else is there? Oh, Leonard Snart, or Leo, as we should call him. Leo Snart, that was pretty cool seeing that, and I was kind of thought of it when as soon as he popped on screen, I was like, oh, he's probably going to be gay with Ray, which is pretty cool. I found that really awesome, but I feel like I saw it coming because I knew that the Ray character is gay. I remember hearing about that. Hey guys, my computer just restarted, so let's get back into it. So it was talking about how Ray and Leonard Snart and being together and stuff like that. That was really cool idea and stuff. That was really fun with that. And I think again, I wanted to talk about with Flash. I'm not sure if I've already talked about it, but with Flash and Ray, it was really cool seeing their powers combined to take on Red Tornado and stuff. That was really cool with that, and the CGI was a little bit weird with that, but I mean, like, I've realized with this is that the entire time that it took to film this entire crossover is how long they would have taken in a movie for one scene type thing. So it is different for that, so it is really cool with that, and it is going to be cool to see how things kind of change for filming later on. Just I did hear an interview with Stephen Amell talking about how, if they do this, keep on doing this every year, they need to figure out how to properly film this, because it's not working. Doing 14 hours a day for them and stuff is really difficult and stuff, especially when you have, Stephen Amell in every episode. He has to, he has 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, and a really little bit of time. He's bouncing back and forth from set to set to set to set, and then all over the place type of thing. So it is going to be really cool to see how things evolve with this for the next crossover, because I really have no idea where do they go from here, other than getting Darkseid, but I don't think they're going to be doing Darkseid on the TV and stuff. They're going to be saving that for the movies, whenever they get that right. But so another point I want to talk about, I guess, was Killer Frost. Killer Frost was great in here. She didn't have much in here. Just a few lines throughout the whole thing, with like different people and stuff. But the ending with her, seeing her flying around on the ice, the way I think it's not the first time I think we've seen that. I think we've seen that before with her flying around on the ice. But I don't think we've seen it as much as this. I think before we've seen her just come into the scene on the ice and leave the scene on the ice. That's it. But this, where she was flying around, she flew up to the Rave Rider, or the evil Dark Rave Rider, evil one and stuff. That was really cool seeing her do that. It's kind of the Iceman thing we've been wanting in the Iceman movies. Iceman's been in how many? He was in the first 3 movies and he never did anything, and she finally does all that stuff that we've been wanting Iceman to do. Actually, no, he did do that in Days of Future Past. He finally did a bit of ice flying and stuff. So that was really cool seeing her do that, and that was really fun. Seeing all that was really cool. Again, that scene with everyone and stuff was really cool. Right after Martin Stein's death, that was pretty awesome. What else do we have? Oh, Up and Away at the end when Overgirl was about to explode, and you have Harry says, Supergirl, you need to bring her up and away type thing. The way he did it was like nonchalant. If you didn't catch it, it was away. But if you heard exactly, it was pretty cool hearing that. That was pretty awesome. And I was thinking about this with Supergirl. We still haven't seen her go into a telephone booth and change. They did it on Smallville, and it was awesome. It was my favorite scenes, and one of my favorite clips from Smallville is him changing in the phone booth, even though he did it once and stuff. I know it's modern stuff, and there's phone booths are gone and stuff like that, but I don't care. They need to do it. Even make something look like a fake phone booth or whatever. Just throw a phone booth and have her changing it. That would be awesome. So I think that's everything I've wanted to touch upon. Oh, then there's the ending, the obvious big ending with Barry Allen and Iris West finally getting married, and Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke getting married at the same time. Wow, that was pretty cool. I mean, and obviously we knew that Barry Allen and Iris West were going to be doing that since the poster, since it was announced the title of this crossover. And the fact that it was going to be so small and stuff, I didn't see that one coming. But then again, it makes sense to save time. They don't want to have to get everyone back, and they only have, they only could have a minimum stuff. And having Diggle do it, giving him a little bit to really have every single person in this is pretty cool. I mean, the only person who's not in this would be Katie Cassidy, who plays Black Siren or type of thing. So that would have been cool to see that, as if we had just, maybe for a glimpse of her having one scene, just like Diggle had at the end, even half a scene. It would have been cool to see that, just to give like a liner or something between, Katie Cassidy and Sarah and Black Siren. But I guess I feel like with, they couldn't have had there's no way they could have had a 10-second scene, because that really wouldn't there's so much they need to do that whenever they do that, they need to give them multiple scenes. So I feel like whenever we get a White Canary Black Siren meetup, it's going to be the full episode, and that's going to be the whole point of the episode whenever that happens. So I'm glad that I guess they didn't rush it in here. But it would have been cool to see her a part of it, just to have every single person a part of it, even if she never met, even if, she was, Sarah was off doing her own thing, maybe while Sarah was on Earth X, we could have had Black Siren, on Earth 1 or something like that. I don't know, it would have been cool to see that. Maybe do some sort of a Doctor Doom scenario where she wants to team up with people, because, if it's her Earth 2, or I mean, actually, technically this is not her Earth. She was born on Earth 2, but she's living right now on this Earth, and wouldn't she want to protect this Earth 2 from Nazis? She doesn't want to become a Nazi, does she? And I think that could be cool. Seeing that would have been cool. Seeing that, maybe a forced team up between Sarah and Black Siren. But like I said, that really wouldn't have worked. There wouldn't have been any time to go in through all the emotions that that Sarah would have had just by seeing her doppelganger and stuff like that. I mean, I think they've met a little bit, but they've heard of her. She's heard of her, but they haven't actually met yet. So other than that, I think that was really good. It was a great crossover. I loved it. I really can't wait to watch it over and over again. Maybe sit down and watch it, and watch it all in one sitting. And yeah, I think I really loved this episode. And also, I would have liked to have seen John Wesley Shipp in there. Those are the two other people I would have put in there. I guess why not throw Linda Carter and but definitely, if I could pick anyone over Black Siren, I would say the one person I would add to the next year's crossover would be Martian freaking Manhunter. John Jones should have been in this. Because one thing I wasn't sure upon is when Sarah and Alex, when Kara and Alex Danvers went over to do Flash and stuff, and they went over for the wedding. They only were going for a wedding. Did she pack her super suit in there? Or if she didn't pack her super suit, which I'm assuming she did she breach back over? Oh, gotta grab my super suit. Then if she did, then why don't she also go, hey, John, get over here, and then go get John. I need your help, I feel like Guardian again. I mean, he needs to watch his own Earth too, but there's no reason why she couldn't have been, hey, just text, hey Clark, can you watch over National City for me? Guardian's here, but just in case, can you watch over National City for me? And then Guardian could have watched over National City with Superman as backup type of thing. I think that should have been okay for I don't know how long they were gone for, and if time works at the same speed. I think time works the same. Time moves the same on both Earths. But so like a couple of days and stuff, that would have been fun to see that, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Flash team has met Martian Manhunter during the musical crossover last year and stuff. So that would have been really cool to have that. But again, all the opportunities that would have meant for, go get Martian Manhunter. No one out. Like Cisco was locked up in the tube, so he couldn't go get Martian Manhunter. Kara was strapped to the table, and Alex was on Earth X and stuff. So I don't know where that stick thing has gone, the portal jumping, because how did Kara actually keep it throughout the end of the episode? Because she had it to leave back. Did she keep it on herself? Because it looked like when the Earth X guys, Earth X Thawne, disguised as what's his face, Harry, when he was trying about to cut her and stuff, She looked like they took all her clothes off and put her in that, that medical gown type thing. So they would have found that little thing and maybe thrown it out and realized, oh, this is what this is, and kept it, or maybe they broke it or threw it away and there was no scene. So I don't know, just how did she keep it? Who knows? Maybe she changed into it, maybe she left it with her stuff. I don't know, but it would have been cool to see Marcia Manhunter on the show. And I guess another thing about that cutting scene, it reminds me about my notes here, is Adam Ray Palmer. He was great. He wasn't in much. Most of the legends weren't in much. The only legends that were really in most of it was Sarah Lance and some of the people and stuff. But Ray Palmer wasn't in much. He was only in the ending episode, which was interesting with that ending last part there. The Legends of Tomorrow Part 4 is having Martin Stein die in this episode, which is, I could see how they did that. And the reason why they put there is because that one last was because he was dying, so that when you're watching this later on Netflix or just watching, or just you only own the DVD for season 3 of Legends of Tomorrow, you're not lost as to where and how did he die. Although you don't see the actual shot. The shot is in flash, but he actually dies and has the dying moment in Legend. So that's interesting when you're watching, you're watching it, you're marathoning the whole season on Netflix or on DVD or Blu-ray or whatever afterwards, and you don't have, no one to jump in. All of a sudden you're into episode 8 of Legends. You're going to be lost. You're just watching the ending of it, but you do get the death of Martin Stein in that. So that was really cool with that. What else was there? Ray, getting back to Ray Palmer, seeing him shrink and catching the blade, that was really cool, seeing that. And then seeing him, turning it just his hand big and then just splatting the guy. That was just perfect. That was great. I love that part. I'd like to see him do that more often in this in the show and stuff. And it really seemed like in all these shows, the CGI, special effects and stuff, the budget was definitely a little bit higher. The quality was still the same. In some of the places you can see where it's wonky, like some of the special effects have been in these shows, especially like that Red Tornado scene was good, but just a little, sometimes you could tell it's not bad, but it's clearly CGI. It's just clearly CGI. It's not bad, it's not terrible, but it's just obviously CGI type thing. It's just which takes sometimes can take you out of the show when you're so invested into this. So yeah, seeing him splat the stuff and seeing so much special effects so often and stuff really showed that they had a bigger budget for these episodes, or at least were able to do more CGI than any other episodes out there. I mean, you got shows like Arrow, which don't do it too often because they don't have superpowers, which is pretty cool. But Legends and stuff is definitely going to be cool to see that. So it really is going to be fun to see where things go with this, and seeing, or Leo Snart, seeing him staying on the team. Is he going to stay part of the Legend? Where is he staying? I did say at the end he was staying, but that was because I was on the Legends episode. Does he mean he's staying on with Legends? Where is he staying? Is he going to stay in Central City? Is he going to stay in this Earth but just do his own thing, go off and stuff? I don't know why why did he go back? He has no reason to go back to, to Earth X if his family is on Earth 1. I didn't see, even when with Stein going back and stuff, or Snart going back, I didn't understand why did the Ray need to go back and stuff. Why couldn't he stay here with his family, or at least it's like, oh, I'm going to spend a few minutes here. I thought he was going to be joining the Legend or something like that to replace Martin Stein. That would have been cool, seeing him there. That would be actually really fun. Learn way more about his powers and all that stuff. That could be cool. So really it's going to be cool to see where things go with all this. Hopefully they get someone to replace Martin Stein, and maybe we'll see how Jax turns out and what's going to happen with him, because I don't know, now that they don't have Firestorm in this, I understand that, Victor Garber was getting tired and he wanted to kind of, be done and stuff. He was done with the show, but they need to have someone to replace Firestorm, and someone needs to be big to replace Firestorm, another big gun, because now the biggest gun they have on Legends is Adam, with him be able to go big, or Vixen. Adam or Vixen is the biggest one, and Vixen doesn't seem like she's set in stone. She's staying. I think the Adam Ray Palmer, he's not leaving the Legends anytime soon type thing, unless something happens. Like, it would take a lot for him to leave the Legends. So, but Vixen, she could go back to her tribe and stuff, and back to her timeline. So who knows what's going to happen with all this. And also we still have Constantine coming up. So I'm not sure what episode that's supposed to be, but I think it's episode 10. So maybe not next episode, but the episode after that. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe they set him up to come back. But that's all a lot of legal rights with the other station and stuff, which owns the right to the Matt Ryan Constantine and all that. So who knows? It's gonna be fun to see where that goes in his crossover. For Legends, but I definitely can't wait to see who they get to replace, because they do need another big gun, because they need someone cool like that, because the Legends of Tomorrow doesn't have the Arrow name, the Green Arrow name, the Flash name, the known name. It's just known characters, but just not the big known name and stuff. So having a big character like that, someone for trailers, for posters, that looks cool. The Firestorm definitely was a person. Or maybe they just get someone else to replace someone else that needs to fuse with Jax. That could be cool, seeing that. But also need to give Jax something, because if you just have Constantine come on, fill the role of the big gun type thing, but then you have Jax, who doesn't have fire, who doesn't have any powers, he doesn't have any skills. I mean, the only skills he has is fixing the fixing the Rave Rider. He needs to have something. We can't have him running around shooting people or type thing. That's just going to be too silly type thing. So he needs to have. It's going to be cool to see what happens to him. Does he leave too? I doubt it. But what happens with him? Maybe they go get a Ronnie Raymond from another Earth. That would be cool. Fingers crossed. I don't think Robbie Amell's. Not from what I know, if I follow him on Instagram and stuff, he's not on another show, but I'd have to look that up. So let me know what you think, guys, about this. It's getting real long. And what was your favorite part? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.